Tonight, I'm sharing 3 true horror stories from the United States that investigators, police, and witnesses still can't explain. These aren't urban legends. These actually happened. And make sure you watch till the end, because the final story is the one the police asked people to stop talking about. The last story was officially sealed. Story 1, the motel that never turned off its light. In the middle of the Arizona desert sits an abandoned roadside motel. Room 12 still has its light on, even though the power was cut over 20 years ago. And that's just the beginning. Truck drivers began reporting something strange. Every time they passed the motel after midnight, they saw someone standing behind the curtain in room 12. No one had lived there for decades. Police investigated. The wiring was destroyed. No generator. No battery. Yet the light turned on every single night at 1:11 a.m. Then a former guest came forward. A man claimed he stayed in room 12 in 1997. At exactly 1:11 a.m., he woke up unable to move. He said the lamp turned on, and something whispered his name. He never slept again after that night. Records revealed 3 guests had died in that room. All at 1:11 a.m. All from sudden heart failure. All facing the lamp. And then the motel was demolished. Everything was destroyed, except one thing. The concrete wall where room 12 once stood. And every night, a light still appears on that wall. Story T was far worse. Story 2, the elevator that stopped between floors. In a Chicago apartment building, residents avoid one elevator. It randomly stops between the 6th and 7th floors. And when it does, the doors open. But there is no floor there. Security footage shows people stepping out, then immediately stepping back in, panicked. Some refused to talk about what they saw. One person described it clearly. A woman said when the doors opened, she saw a hallway that didn't exist, lined with doors, all slightly open, and something was breathing. Maintenance shut down the elevator, but residents reported hearing the ding anyway. At 3:33 a.m., then a child disappeared. A 9-year-old boy entered the elevator alone. Cameras show the doors closing. They never opened again. The elevator returned empty. Police searched for weeks. No body. No evidence. Only one thing remained. Handprints on the inside of the doors. From the outside, the elevator was sealed. But residents still report hearing it stop. Doors opening. And footsteps leaving. With no one inside. The final story is the most disturbing. Story 3, the 911 call that came from a dead phone. In 2008, a 911 dispatcher received a call from a disconnected number. The phone line had been dead for over a decade. The caller was whispering. The voice said only one thing. They're inside the house. Then the call cut off. Police traced the address. The house was abandoned. Burned in a fire years earlier. No electricity. No phone lines. But the dispatcher recognized the voice. It belonged to a woman who died in that fire. Her 911 call from the night she died was still on record. And the 2 recordings were identical. Same breathing. Same panic. Same final scream. Calls kept coming. Every year. Same date. Same time. Same message. Until one night, the message changed. The caller said, "They're not inside anymore. They're outside your door." The dispatcher froze. That dispatcher quit the next day. She refused to explain why. But her replacement made a mistake. He answered the call. And heard his own voice, asking for help. The line went silent. The call has never been received again. The house was demolished. But the number still exists in the system. So why is it still active? These stories remain unsolved. No explanation. No closure. Only witnesses who refuse to speak publicly. And there are hundreds more like them. If you've ever experienced something unexplainable, you're not alone. And sometimes, what we can't explain doesn't want to be explained. The next video goes deeper. Subscribe if you want more true horror stories from the USA. And comment below which story disturbed you the most. Because some stories never really end.